This is Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Well, it wasn't the night we're looking for when we watched the Australian men's basketball team get to action against Canada.
I feel like it's your fault, Shaun. I don't know why.
Well, when I saw some of the names of the Canadian players when they took the court last night, I was like, oh my God, we're in all sorts of strife because there was a bunch of NBA stars getting out there to play. Andrew Gazey actually was commentating the game. He was there live. Gazey, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, it was a good performance by our boys, but like you mentioned, Canada, they got 10 NBA players, including Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who was last season's MVP runner-up in the NBA. So it was a credible performance, but unfortunately we weren't able to get over the line.
Gazey, can we blame the cardboard beds and the vegan food in the village?
No, I don't think so, because actually I don't even know, because they have a satellite village here in Lille. We're not actually in Paris.
Yeah. Oh, right.
The basketball's in Lille, but they do have a village, and I believe the cardboard beds are consistent with Paris, but I'm not sure about the food arrangements. But some of those things get blown a bit out of proportion. I spoke to Paddy Mills, and he said, listen, that you can always get a little better, but as far as Olympic villages go, they all have their own room. It seemed like that it was more than acceptable.
But
yeah,
you know
that's
what?
about the air conditioning has been an issue over the journey too. I don't know if that's blown
Australia,
out.
The main village, they took
Yeah,
They took their own
their own.
aircon.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the US team because Shaun told me they stay on a yacht. I think it should be everyone do the same thing, or you know what I mean?
Find your own accommodation, Airbnbs.
So
Maybe.
it's all equal. So everybody gets a boat.
Yeah, so everyone sleeps on the same thing. You know what I mean?
Would that be fair, Gazey?
Well, I think it's each to their own. The United States, I don't believe I think they're in hotels, and they're actually, because the games, the basketball here for the preliminary rounds is in Lille. One thing they are doing is they're not staying here in Lille. They're actually still staying in Paris, and they get the train. They shut down the train network, and they all get on the train, and it's about a 45-minute on a semi-bullet train type arrangement, and they come here. So we don't see a whole bunch of them here other than the games because, they're still staying in Paris.
So they're they're FIFOing to the basketball.
I have not heard that at all.
Yeah.
No, I thought they were staying on a cruise ship, although the surfers are staying on a cruise ship, which I believe over in Tahiti at the moment. That's interesting.
Well, that's interesting, because they can just jump off the side and practice. It's not bad.
Hey, Gazey, on the game last night, I was... you were buoyed probably in the first half when we were able to score at will, and then second half it just dried off. Obviously, Canada turned up the defence. So some of the defensive players that they had are the top defensive players in the NBA as well. But most of these games come down to being able to hit an outside shot. We weren't able to do that.
Yeah. No, we were, like you said, in the first half. I think Paddy Mills had a tough time of it, but they, like you mentioned, and it's a very, very good observation, astute observation, in that they are an elite level defensive team, Lou Dort in particular, but then they have great size in their guards. Yeah. Sometimes they play what we'd call small ball, where they're playing four guards, but their guards actually have some decent size about them. And with Paddy's reputation, they were locked into him. But we missed some shots that we're normally going to make. Defensively, we weren't terrible, but in that last quarter, we started the quarter poorly, and scoring was probably our biggest problem, because defensively, with these guns that Canada have, I think holding them into the low 90s is not a bad effort.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's a unique situation, isn't it? Because we see the Australian swim team and all them train together the whole time and stuff like this. It's not the same for the Boomers and stuff, They're sort of put together and then expected to gel like a team that's been playing for years, but they haven't.
Yeah, it is equal across the board, though.
I know, but it's a very strange situation,
What I do like, Nathan, if you've seen some of the videos behind the scenes, is when they get their opportunity, all these guys, to play for the Boomers, they feel it, man. There's some emotional guys who, got the call up to play.
Well, it's playing for your country, isn't it?
Yeah.
How many times did you do it, Gazey? What did you go to, 5?
I was good enough. I started in 84, and my last was our home Olympics in Sydney in 2000. So, I had the fortune and the privilege to go to 5 of them.
Gazey, what a champion.
Were you partnered at the whole time? You didn't get a chance to put your hand into the bucket of condoms, did you?
No, but given that the statistics I'm hearing about the usage rate, and I know when I was there, I wasn't getting any.
You were bringing the average down.
Gazey, you should have just been there making balloon animals with them. Use your fair share.
Now, Gazey, they go up against Greece next. Can they take them down?
You can't take Giannis,
the Greek freak.
The Greek freak will just take the ball from one end of the court
But
to the other.
they haven't won a game yet, though.
That's true.
Yeah, Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's one of the best players in the world, and seeing him here, he has been fantastic. But Spain beat them today, and we beat Spain. So in theory, we should be fine. I think we are a much deeper team. They'll have the best player on the court, but our depth, I think, is something that will work in our favour. And I think defensively, with the other guys, we might have our hands full with Giannis, but with some of the other guys, we should be able to make life pretty tough for them. And so I'm very confident that we can get that win against Greece.
Gazey, it's been a while since you played, but you are a tall guard anyway. But when you're standing near some of these guys these days, like Giannis, who you just mentioned, do you think, holy hell, they're making them big these days?
Monsters.
Mate, I'm telling you, that when you look at them and the way the game's played now and the shots back in my day that they wouldn't allow you to take and say, that's a terrible shot. Now that's the norm, and they scream at you for not taking that shot. But Giannis, he warms up in just his warm-up jersey. He doesn't have his uniform on, and he takes, just before they go to the floor, he takes his gear off.
Yeah.
And my glorious little days, that man is chiseled.
It's a Greek god as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it is, and and they're all like that these days. That the attention to detail and the size of these guys, it's incredible. And I marvel at the skill that they have.
Hey, Gazey, back when you were playing, was it easier to sport a dad bod?
I very much had a lot to do with the dad bod, that's for sure. And plus, I look like I was 700 with all the grey hairs. But it was part of my... I think when I was out on the floor, they'd feel a little bit sorry. They go, oh, gee, who's this old man running around here? And,
oh, my God, it's Helen Mirren.
Get away with it.
Mate, you knocked down the threes like no one else we've ever seen in the game. And just finally, guys, you want to know, is it all work, or do you get to have some downtime whilst you're covering the Olympics?
No, there's a lot of work right now because I'm doing a little bit covering the Opals as well. They've had some time, but this city of Lille is it's a beautiful place. And I just want to say, I don't know what you're hearing over there, but Paris and the French, they are doing an amazing job. Every venue's full. The atmosphere in the basketball is like, and I haven't seen that type of atmosphere for a long, long time. It's a beautiful thing to be a part of. So it's a lot of fun, and they're doing a great job.
Well, the main thing we're sort of feeling over here is we're hearing that they're not being fed enough meat, so Australians are sending sausages over to Paris.
We put some in a postpack for you, Gazey. They should arrive any day now. And in Lille, they love Aussies too, don't they? They're, which is a hangover from World War II.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
It is. And everyone here, there's a genuine Olympic spirit. You see opposing fans coming together, and although some are disappointed and some are happy, there is a joyous atmosphere about it, which certainly the world needs a lot of these days.
No doubt about it. Andrew Gazey, you're an absolute Australian icon. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us this morning.
Love it. Anytime, guys. Good on you.
Thanks,
brother.
Cheers, bye.
Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Hey, before we get stuck into the Olympics, which everybody was watching last night, fantastic stuff. Tom Barrass.
Yes.
Didn't we speak about this the other day? I felt like we did.
What?
So he was taking overtures from teams in the East last year. There was talk of him going to the Sydney Swans, right?
Yep.
They put up their hands and said, no, we got nothing to do with it. Sydney at the time, hang on a second, your manager reached out to us and said that you could be in the field of play to move from the West Coast Eagles. Everyone's saying, it's just a made-up story. On the weekend, Hawthorn coach Sam Mitchell flew over from Melbourne after they played their game and won their game. So they played in Adelaide. After they played their game in Adelaide, he jumped on the plane, come over here and caught up with Tom Barrass about Barrass about joining them.
Was it about that? Because they'd know one another.
Yeah, because I read an article yesterday.
Oh, yeah, of course it's this. You're just jumping on the plane because I want to just go over and say, have a cup of tea.
I read an article the other day that Paul Roos had flown over, who lives now in Hawaii, by
Hawaii,
the way. He flew over to Perth for a function, and everybody here, the rumour was he was interviewing for the West Coast thingo. Yeah,
so they're going to peg everybody for the coach.
Maybe Natalie's right. Maybe it wasn't that.
No, he is definitely courting offers from opposition, and maybe it's just for the fact that he wants more out of the West Coast, so he wants an extended 2 or 3 year contract, and he wants more money. He's an absolute dead set jet, and knowing that maybe in his own mind and with his management that the Eagles are going to be poor for another couple of seasons, and he has an opportunity to play in a team that's up there to finish off a career with a win. Maybe that's the go. He does, like, as we've known Tom for a short amount of time, he's a different thinker. He's a very intelligent unit. And he might feel that it might be a time for him to go over there anyway. Anyway, I just thought that's a real blow to the Eagles. That he's actually considering taking or being courted by other teams,
but
particularly that heavily.
But maybe he was in it for the free lunch.
But also, the next few years for the Eagles doesn't look like it's going to be.
That's what Shaun's saying.
You know.
But he has previously said he wants to be a one club player as well. So.
Yeah, one good club.
When you're getting shopped around like last year, and we go, okay, we'll let that one slide because who knows?
Everybody here in the room just sends the money symbol with their hands.
There's money. There's money involved. Yeah. Okay, over to the games last night. Kaylee McEwen was our big star. Of course, she took out gold in the 100-metre freestyle backstroke, beating Regan Smith, who was the former world record, or is the world record holder in this event.
So Regan just stole Kaylee's world record in
the Australian
US
swim
trials.
Titles and then the US swim titles, and she was able to claim that one. James Magnuson, you can watch him. He does a podcast, but it's more so on Fox. And he's been really insightful, actually. And anyway, he just broke down how important this swim was.
So the swim itself, Kaylee was going up against the current world record holder, Regan Smith, who broke that world record only 6 weeks ago. So there was no bigger task for Kaylee McEwen than gold in this individual 100 backstroke. This was going to be her toughest race. She was behind with 15 metres to go, and as Kaylee does, she dug deep, she fights, she's like a dog with a bone in that 100 backstroke. She overcame both the Americans, who took silver and bronze. Gold for Australia again. Now she becomes the third woman to win the same event at back-to-back Olympics after Dawn and day one Ariane.
Ariane Titmus, Dawn Fraser. What a champion.
I do love the fact that after that swim, she pops back on her glasses, which she seemed to have stolen from a librarian who's about 74 years old. I love that. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Perth's Iona Anderson, she finished fifth in the world, and that was her first Olympics. That's a bloody good effort.
That's fair. I don't know if I don't know if as a backstroker you ever catch the hearts of the world though. It seems like the poor man's event in the Olympics.
Tell that to Joanna Griggs.
But also how do they know where they're going? It's amazing.
Nicole Livingston.
It's so amazing. Hey, I want to ask something that I saw, and I didn't know about this. You guys obviously will. A golden jacket was passed from Ariana's parents to Molly's parents at an Irish pub that had been taken over by the Aussies, and it was a blazer which had all the names in it. Is that a thing for the swimming?
By what do you mean, a blazer with the names on it?
You know, when they play golf and there's a green jacket or a gold jacket or whatever, or like a blazer?
No, not officially it's not.
Well, they literally had one, and it's got a whole list of names down there so for the event that
she won in.
She won in, and so they did an official handing over of a golden jacket. I never heard anything about it before.
Yeah, maybe it was made up by someone and then they've kept the tradition going.
Isn't that cute?
That's really nice. Hey, we've got a $150 voucher to spend at Rebel Sports to get sorted for the City to Surf. Join the Chevron City to Surf for active Nova Run Club. Hit up perthcitytosurf.com/Nova Run Club. And finally, me and that...
who's that going for? What caller?
That'll be caller number 4. Amy, our producer, made me get that out because I'll forget. But the Rugby Sevens, we were just blown away by the fact that the women's Rugby Sevens are outstanding. Like, they're legitimate stars, and they just... had a stinker last night. They got beaten by Canada, which they should have beaten to play the Kiwis in the gold medal race, and then they end up faltering and getting beaten in the bronze medal playoff in the last second to the USA.
They've had it. Yeah, they had a shocking day, and they were devastated as well. Rightly so.
Well, so they should be.
Yeah.
Shaun Sport is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.